This time on Kawaii-Fi Radio, we have some minor technical difficulties. We can't hear anything.
Yeah, so we actually have to focus to listen, and we don't do focus.
Aaron tells us a unique manga origin story.
She came up with most of the concept and the generic plot of the show while sleeping in a bathtub for 6 hours.
Okay.
And we look back on the impact of Kill la Kill after 10 years.
And like the cosplayers I've seen of like her in
Oh,
particular.
yeah,
like,
where they get like the wig and there's like LEDs behind it.
Yeah, to do the colouring.
Oh, man.
Oh.
It's over 9,000!
Configure the language logic interface for Japanese.
Kawaii-Fi.
Kawaii-Fi!
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
Konnichiwa and welcome. You tuned into Kawaii-Fi Radio, the podcast we dive into the world of anime, manga, and Japanese otaku culture. I'm Kyle, and with me is Aaron and Kiralee.
Yo!
And this episode, it's been 10 years since Kill la Kill came out, and as we've all discussed, feels like it's been longer.
So much longer.
Yeah.
Like, I swear it was like a 2012, 2011 anime.
Man, my brain goes like 2009. I feel like I was like, just finished uni sort of thing. Like,
I don't know if this is acceptable to say, but I swear I remember it being an AMV hell around that time.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, like AMV Hell 3.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, maybe it was 5 or 6 or 7 of AMV Hell because
It must have
It
been.
was
but,
just
like,
memed a lot.
it was memed a
Yeah.
lot. For good reason. It's amazing. It's a great show. And if you haven't watched Kill la Kill, you should definitely check it out.
absolutely.
But
Watch it, then come back to this episode.
but on that note, we do have to state that Kill la Kill is a little bit raunchy, and it is definitely very tongue-in-cheek on that front. So if you are one of our younger listeners, do be aware that this does come with a important parental guidance recommendation.
Yeah, I'm going to say if you're under 16, please don't watch this.
And if you're over 16, don't watch it with your parents because it's really awkward.
Yeah, look, you don't want to have that talk.
You don't. But before we get deep down this rabbit hole of one of Trigger's most famous series, we need to talk about what we've been watching.
I have no idea how old I am or where I came from.
Nani? Ohio!
Hang time! I gotta go!
I have to know! Hooray! I did that thing!
Oni-chan, nani wo miru? What we're watching. We're having a bit of a weird situation with the headphones where we can't hear anything.
Yeah, so the smoothness of the transitions might be a little off.
Yeah, because we vibe with the music to get that energy level up and get all fancy, and it just feels kind of quiet.
Yeah, we actually have to focus to listen. We don't do focus.
Anyway, let's talk about what we've been watching. And Kiralee, you've been watching one of the shows from the new season.
Yes, it's so good.
Viral hit?
Yes. Oh my goodness.
All right, so what's it about?
So it's about this kid that gets bullied a lot in school, but it's from people who are live streaming. So they want to be like the big live streamer, and they get paid through that as well. So it gets to a point where he basically cracks and he's like, no, I'm not taking this anymore. And he starts beating up the bully. And so it got filmed.
Was he getting paid to be beaten up before?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. The guy who beat him up got paid.
Because he's getting his Twitch payout.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
And so he posted the video without knowing, and he was an instant hit for beating up the bully. And he was like, oh my gosh, I can make money from this. This is crazy. And money was super important to him because he was working himself to the bone. And of course, his mother is in hospital because she's sick. And so then he decides to do that.
There is motive and there is a solution.
And it's just really funny as well. Like, just so funny. And he finds this elusive sort of YouTube series of this rooster guy teaching people how to fight.
That's right. So you know how like in Shangri-La Frontier, the guy's got the bird head on?
Yeah.
That, but rooster.
Okay.
Yeah.
And my theory is that this rooster is the fighter who is in his class. So I think this.
So not the bully, but another fighter in the class.
Another fighter in his class who's like a professional like UFC fighter or something.
Oh.
Yeah, he's like professional level in like that in his like age
group.
category.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say, I hope it's like age category, and he's not going up
Yeah.
against like
Mike Tyson.
Yeah. But yeah, I reckon he's the one that's wearing the rooster and has just made all of these YouTube episodes just because he can. And then he's noticed that this kid has watched these episodes and is using his techniques. And so now I think there's going to be like the bond.
No.
And I'm very excited to see if that is true.
Let me show you some off-the-menu secret techniques.
Yeah, he like the first lesson he took was how to take a punch and it not hurt, and so he goes up against this guy who like robbed him basically, and then took him to a karaoke like area, and then they start fighting, and this guy just like starts punching him, but he like takes it to the forehead for like ever.
brain damage.
Yeah,
It mightn't hurt, but you mightn't be smart afterwards.
Who needs
the
to be
guy-
smart when you can take a punch?
and apparently it didn't hurt, but he gave up. The bully, like the guy who robbed him, gave up in the end because his fist started hurting because he was, punching him in the thickest part, in the forehead. And so he won.
I have one question, and that's what is the streaming platform doing during all this? Come on, Twitch.
Yeah.
Pull it together.
Paying for more fights.
So he is worried that he's going to get like,
Demonetized.
yeah. Yeah. So it's
love
like
it.
that balance.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, brilliant. High Dive? No, Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Crunchyroll. Yeah. No, that's going strong. There's 5 episodes out now, I think. So, yeah. I went into the back catalogue, and as we all know, I'm big on my romance shows, and I finally watched Hokkaido Gals Are Super Adorable. And Hokkaido Gals Are Super Adorable. Like,
Interesting.
who would have thought?
With a title like that.
I know, right? I had a bit of a read online because I was like, I wonder if the manga's worth reading. And there's a lot of people like poo-pooing it and going, no, it's, horrible. And why'd they do this? And why'd they do that? And like the thing they're complaining about is like the last episode of the show. And it's like, that's actually really straightforward. It's like minor spoiler, but it's kind of alluded to in the first episode and throughout the whole show. But she goes away for to do some like studying abroad. But the implications are that she's going for a long time and she's not. And so they're like, everyone on the talking about the manga is going like, the whole like studying abroad thing was such a big mess around and all that. I'm sitting there going, it was covered in like 10 minutes on the anime. Like, what are you talking about? So like, I don't know what the situation is in the manga. If you like have read the manga and you've gotten to that point and like, oh, what's going on here? Like, and it was done poorly there. Let us know in the comments. We'd like to know. But
Is there a story or are they just doing cute things?
They're just doing cute things. I mean, there is an overarching story. So he was, so the guy basically ran away from home is probably the easiest way to explain it. So he was living in Tokyo. He moves up to Hokkaido. He's living with his grandma. His parents are still in Tokyo, but I'm guessing like there was some form of disagreement and that caused him to be like, nah, I'm done. But he also wasn't very social. He struggled to make friendships and all that while he was in Tokyo. So he's moved up to Hokkaido and obviously everything's kind of changed. So the main girl, he bumps into her in like the depths of the snow and all that, and she's like, he got out of the taxi because he's like, oh, it can't be that far away. Nah, it's ages away. Everything's ages away. So he's like, I can walk to the house. No, he can't. Runs into her, and she's like, come, you can get the bus from here. It goes there, sort of thing. Then they end up in the same class. They become friends. He gets to meet. Everyone's a gyaru, according to
Sure.
It's like, man, the black-haired gyarus. I'm like, isn't that just like a a prim and proper, like, normal Japanese chick. Like, yeah. And then there's he's got a senpai who she's like the year above, who's got pink hair, and the intro kind of makes it suggested that she's like, you know, possibly a Chunibyo. She's not. She's just really into history. Like, she really likes history and historic books and stuff like that. So that's what they were trying to impart as part of the opening with it, but it makes it look like she's a ninja Chunibyo, and she's not. But yeah, it's really well done. The character interactions are really genuine and nice. There's a lot of drama, but it's not very high stakes, which, yeah, kind of what I'm there for. Like, come on. It's why you watch the romance animes. I can recommend it. It's good fun. I don't know if it'll get a second season. This did only just finish end of last season. It's, as I mentioned in the pre-show, I had a 5-day weekend because of a public holiday, a day off work, and then time owed. So I just went and binged a bucket load of anime that I had sitting on my missing list. Yeah, can recommend. It's on Crunchyroll. Check it out. I enjoyed it. If you generally like the romance shows I talk about, you'll like this. So there you go. Aaron, you went plumbing the deep back catalogue.
The very deep back catalogue.
D.Gray-man.
D.Gray-man.
D.Gray-man. What is it?
So
don't say it's a man who's grey.
Well,
and his middle name is D, like Monkey D. Luffy.
No, actually, I did a dive about that last night because I turned to my partner. I went, "Why is it called D.Gray-man?" And they went, "I don't remember." And I went, "Okay, Google, you tell me." And it was like, "Oh, Gray Man refers to the main character and the other characters, and then the D stands for deer." Which
is this a romance?
No, it's not. But she came up with most of the concept and the generic plot of the show while sleeping in a bathtub for 6 hours.
Oh. Okay.
Is the mangaka all right?
I don't know. But the general overarching theme of the show is there's exorcists and there's Akuma, and the exorcists are out to stop the Akuma, but the Akuma are being created by this guy named Millennium Earl, and he's trying to create all these Akuma to destroy the humans. So the exorcists go out and find this thing called innocence, which is something created by God, and it powers their weapons to stop the Akuma. However, the Akuma are now after the innocence to corrupt it and turn it into anti-exorcist weapons, and it's
wow.
And the Millennium Earl is scheming with this family that are the descendants of Noah, as in the guy who created the Ark Noah.
He's still around?
No, he's not around, but his descendants are.
His descendants are, yeah.
D.Gray-man, is that the one with the character who has like the plaid skirt? Is that one?
The plaid skirt?
I think it might be, actually.
No?
Is that the one you're thinking of?
No.
No? Okay.
Everyone cosplayed the red-haired guy, Lavi.
Yes.
Yeah, the dude with the hammer.
It's not a biscuit hammer, though. So
no. Well, there's no devils.
That's a good thing.
But yeah, so it basically follows Alan, and he is an exorcist with a parasite-type anti-Akuma weapon, which transforms his arm into like this big metal arm, or a gun, or a sword. And he's got a special left eye that allows him to see Akuma when none of the other exorcists can see them. And it sounds like a laser powering up every time he uses it.
This is
You've seen it, you know it's true.
Yeah, I do.
This is sounding like Blue Exorcist mixed with Full Metal Alchemist.
I mean, it's definitely got
Love
FMA
it.
vibes, but it's also written by a female mangaka.
So was FMA.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So like the main female characters aren't overly sexualized.
That's nice.
There is one whose ability basically turns her pants into like sexy boots with flames coming out.
Okay, cool.
And her brother's got a thing for her. He's very over the top with it.
Man, Japan, why?
But other than that, there's like they don't do anything. Like the female characters are actually treated with respect and like proper characters.
That's good.
There's an episode early on where Alan and Lena Lee both have to share a room, but they put up a sheet between their beds.
Man, that is so like reminiscent of Rumiko Takahashi's shows, like Ranma, and
It's just reminiscent of being an innocent child.
it is, isn't it? The manga started in 2004. It's still going.
Yes, the manga and the anime completely different.
Yeah,
Yep.
Oh.
that probably explains a few things. Yeah, the anime ran for 103 episodes, 2006 to 2008.
And then there was a follow-up series
Hollow.
called Hollow. Yeah.
That was in 2016.
Yes.
Go figure.
So I'm about a quarter of the way through the original.
Is it a bit of a slog?
Some episodes feel like it because they've got these filler episodes that you can very clearly tell are filler episodes.
Why do that?
But I mean, because they were coming out at the same time as the manga, so they had to make sure that they didn't do anything that was going to contradict. But then they ended up going on their own path, like complete. You know that scene in Gintama where they're talking about fillers,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh yeah, sometimes they'll just like stop, go off on a side tangent, let the manga go ahead, and then like rejoin." So they also go, and then sometimes the manga will go ahead, and then the anime will just kind of, and then it goes like. And then it waits too long and it like rejoins towards the end.
You mean like Boruto?
Yeah.
Or Bleach?
So basically
Yeah.
that's what happened with D.Gray-man, and that's why the anime ended, but the manga's still going. Because they like just screwed it up entirely.
So read the manga.
Read the manga
Read the
if
manga.
you want the proper D.Gray-man experience.
I might.
But if you're more of an anime person and want to see the madness that it was back in the day, definitely check out the anime for an experience.
Fair enough.
It gives me .hack GU/Roots energy.
Yeah.
Because the main character's got white hair, red facial markings, swaps weapons.
Yep.
It's very
In line with that,
that
yeah.
period, very niche specific.
And now we changed to just black hair, protagonist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now all the protagonists just have regular black hair.
They're all Kirito.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They went from .hack to sword art.
Yeah, literally. And this is the thing. That's a good hallmark on how generic your random long named light novel anime adaptation is. If the character looks like Kirito, it might be quite generic.
Yes, but generic means successful these days.
Unfortunately, it does.
It's the nail that sticks out that gets
Though,
hammered.
in fairness, the reason Kirito's character design is probably fairly popular is because Japanese schools are quite strict on hair coloring, so most of them do have black and brown hair. So there you go. I do want to touch on one other show. Actually,
It's
where'd
on
you watch it?
Crunchyroll.
Yeah, Crunchyroll. Nice. Mysterious Disappearances. This is a high dive show that's airing at the moment. Emma is obsessed with it. And I'm also obsessed with it, but I figured this was worth mentioning for this. It's a little bit I wouldn't say it's as raunchy as Kill la Kill. There's a whole thing about
Is there?
yeah.
Oh.
It's not
Shirley's suddenly interested.
Because I watched the first episode, but I hadn't watched from there.
Yeah. So basically, it's a story about a lady. She's like 28, 29, works in a bookshop. Used to be, she won like awards as like a young author. She still wants to be an author. But like all of her recent works are not getting anywhere with the publication team and the publishers. And the boy she works with, yeah, he's like kind of like styled to be like 15 to 18, like, young shonen. But he has weird eyes, like circular sort of things. And it's kind of implied that he's a lot older than he appears. Like he might be a spirit sort of thing. He's got a sister who he's trying to help get to, I think it's the afterlife, and he's going around collecting these cursed objects. It's not like Jujutsu Kaisen's cursed objects where it's like, the fingers or anything like that, but there is a little bit of overlap in the idea behind it. And one of these objects is a scroll, was a book, and it was a forbidden book. And the main character, she uses this book and it makes her start regressing age-wise. And to like, it turns her into a kid. And it's a spell. and she then starts being able to use that spell at will because she's memorized it. And then to transition between, being a child and an adult and then a teenager so she can infiltrate a school to find another cursed object and stuff like that. So it's all these little mysterious, dark events. They're not like, it's not happy-go-lucky. It's very much like a horror look without the horror elements.
So what I'm hearing is One Piece's Bonnie is the main character.
I get the comparison, but I think...
Age is just a slider in a video game. Just woo,
yeah.
woo.
I'll bring up the key visual because this is kind of lets you know what the styling is of the cast.
Oh, that makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Oh, the eyes and all that?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's quite unique, but like the main character, she's pretty cool.
She looks like Miss Kobayashi.
Yeah, but if Miss Kobayashi was much later, older, I should say. But
Wasn't Kobayashi old? Like mid-30s?
Man, I keep forgetting because Kobayashi looks so young. Because she looks. The style makes all the characters look quite young.
She's like a office worker that's like given up and.
Yeah, that does feel like 30.
Yeah.
This is 30. Office worker that has given up.
Well, in your 20s, you're hopeful, you're optimistic, you're pushing for that promotion, you
Yeah.
got it, and then 30s, you're like, the system doesn't change. To get the promotion, you gotta do some shady things under the desk.
Yeah. Anyway, basically, they're going out. So you've got Ogawa, Sumeriko, who's the main girl, Ren, who's the boy. They're going out to invest urban legends, black magic, and ghost stories across the cities. And Sumeriko seems to have a knack for triggering magical events. So Ren is like, I'm going to stick with her. I've greatly been enjoying it. It is listed as ecchi, mystery supernatural. It's not like hardcore, but it does have elements of it, so obviously be aware. I think it's M rated, but it's I really am enjoying the story for it. I want to know what the go is with Ren. And sorry, it's not High Dive. This is Crunchyroll.
Kyle,
one of the other ones I was watching on High Dive. Like I'm jumping between too many platforms at the moment. It's not good.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
Yeah. Anyway, those are the shows that we've been checking out at the moment. Like all of them. They're worth a look.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, all of them are on Crunchyroll. So there you go.
One place to find them all.
If you've been watching something interesting we haven't mentioned yet, pop it in the comments. We have been obviously watching a lot more than just that this season. There's Go-Go Loser Ranger. There's Kaiju number 8.
Oh, man, that's so good.
So good. We'll get into these in future episodes. But, we like to trickle feed it through.
Yeah, we've still got episodes to make. It's not like
we're salt baying you.
Oh.
Yeah, that's an old one. Let's move on.
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
I think I watched that as a kid.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Back Catalogue.
Alrighty, it is time to talk Kill la Kill, Dress to Kill. Wonderful goodness. That's the apparent direct translation for it. So, yeah, and it's fitting. So, if you haven't heard of Kill la Kill, it is...
What rock have you been hiding under?
It is one of Studio Trigger, who we love, a studio that was spun out of Gainax, and we're gonna have to do an episode looking at the heritage that Gainax has created, like a studio in focus episode, like we did for A1 all those years ago, because Trigger is one of the phenomenal ones. Pardon?
Steak sauce.
Oh
A1.
god, that's not where I thought you were going with that. Anyway, this came out in October 2013 and finished in March 2014. And episode 1 was actually previewed at a screening in Tokyo in September as kind of like a special event because it was one of Trigger's first big shows after they'd kind of spun off as a new studio. They did have stuff come out before it. They'd done as we discussed in the pre-show, their Little Witch Academia OVA. They'd done, I'm pretty sure, Panty and Stocking as well with Garter Belt before that, though that might have actually been at the Gainax tipping point. It's kind of, I'm unclear on that. But it's a show that has, I think it stood the test of time, really. It is ranked number 597 on my anime list, but it's on at 8. So,
Well, it also made a huge impact in the scene.
especially on the Western anime scene. This was huge. This was like Gurren Lagann big. So, yeah. Now, if you haven't heard of Kill la Kill, don't know what it's about, here's the go. So, after the murder of her father, Ryoko Matoi has been wandering the land in search of his killer. Following her only lead, the missing half of his invention, the scissor blade, she arrives at the prestigious Honju Academy, a high school unlike any other. The academy is ruled by the imposing and cold-hearted student council president Satsuki Kiryuin? Yeah. Alongside her powerful underlings, the Elite Four. Not Pokemon, but they are elite and there is 4 of them, so yeah. In the school's brutally competitive hierarchy, Satsuki bestows upon those at the top special clothes called Goku uniforms, which grant the wearer unique superhuman abilities. Thoroughly beaten in a fight against one of the students, Ryuko retreats to her raised home where she stumbles across Senketsu, a rare and sentient kamui or god cloth. And after coming into contact with Ryuko's blood, he awakens, latching onto her and providing her with immense power. Now, armed with Senketsu and the scissor blade, Ryuko makes a stand against the Elite Four and the school, hoping to reach Satsuki and uncover the culprit behind her father's murder once and for all. That's a really great synopsis to
It covers episode 1.
Yeah. And then after that, things go unhinged because it's Studio Trigger. Because that's why we love Studio Trigger.
Yeah. We need to insert like a clip of a song here. I Am All of Me by Crush 40.
Okay.
Shadow the Hedgehog, that's his theme.
Yeah, as you said, this is Shadow the Hedgehog meets
God of High School.
God of High School. Except that it's before God of High School. So realistically, God of High School is based on Kill la Kill. No. Possibly inspired by it. Now, 2013, 2014, 10 years ago since this came out. It's great. Like there's very few people who don't know of Kill la Kill.
Yeah.
And obviously it was massively popular in the cosplay scene, not just because of the outfits, but because of the theming around the whole show. The whole theming is around clothing. It's around sewing, stitching, making. It's around, threads, and people use needles as weapons, like sewing needles. Like there's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the mum's a fashionista.
I mean, yeah. So, look, I'm not going to just say go watch it, but go watch it.
There are so many references to Sonic the Hedgehog in it.
So each episode is named after a 1970s Japanese song. So each episode title is named after a Japanese song. It's been like, I guess the concept was created after Imaishi Hiroyuki, who was the creator, was observing the similarities between the Japanese terms fasho and fashion. Fascism and fashion.
Yep.
So there you go.
That makes sense.
And obviously the dual meaning of the term seifuku, which means both conquest and uniforms, and kiru, which means both to kill and to wear. So it's to kill and to wear as well, is another way of being read. So it kind of gives you an idea of like thematically where this whole thing has come from, and it suddenly makes a lot of sense. Oh, no, I was wrong. It's only TV 14, so PG-13.
I would not.
I would not have guessed that. That can't be right.
Wow.
No.
Yeah, PG-13.
I mean, look, they don't technically show anything, but there's a
they
lot
get
of
damn close.
They're damn
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
just duct tape.
Yeah.
We need to talk to the ratings board because they just kind of winged it, really.
Yeah.
So look, let's go a little bit down and talk about designs, because this is something, Kira-Lee, that you obviously have a fair bit of experience with, like with your costume design and creation. What did you like about it?
Wow. So, I actually, when I went to watch this, I kind of struggled because the animation style was so different, especially when it came out. It was like sort of its time. It was very new.
Yeah.
So I did kind of struggle to watch through it. But the designs in it are just huge in the cosplay community. Like so many people doing the cosplays, and some of them that maybe should not have been done.
Yep.
People have done.
Yeah.
But it's good. I mean, some of them were good. Some of them not so much because I think it was a learning curve. I think for the cosplayers because we started using more undergarments to wear under and then put the costume over.
Such as like having like a sheer bodysuit over and then put the costume on top. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is very good.
Yeah. It's
To prevent accidental slippage.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
But
there's
they're
only
just
so much Hollywood tape can do.
Yeah. But their designs are so magical.
They are.
Like the sticking up and like the collars and the...
Oh, I love that the eyes are a collar, essentially. Or,
Yeah.
or a bow, depending on
Yeah.
the scene that they're done in.
And I think, I forget now because it's been a while, but I think she's not the principal, but close to it, the white one, where she has the hair that like comes out and like lights up.
That's the mom.
So you've got
That's the mum?
There's the
That's the
student
mum.
council president and then her mum, who is, we're not going to go into spoiler territory with all
Okay.
that. But yeah, the mum's like in charge of a fashion corporation or
Yeah.
something. And
Well,
Doesn't she live in space?
I don't think it's space. It's just, it looks very space agey.
but like her special powers are so cool.
Yeah.
And like the cosplayers I've seen of like her in particular, are
yeah,
like,
where they get like
"Wow."
the wig and there's like LEDs
Yeah.
behind
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, to do the
And-
colouring.
Oh man.
Oh, it's amazing. But I mean, like, and it's not just like, I mean, yes, there are raunchy outfits in it as well. But then when you have a look at some of like the 2 and 3 star uniforms as well, like some of them, like I can see like the swordsman, like the
blind guy.
the kendo guy, yeah, like his outfit is like a mecha suit. Like once it's activated, and it's like I can see people making that quite happily and running around and going, "Hey, I can't see."
Well, because wasn't it like up in your power thing of like the more power you got, like the less clothes you had on.
Basically.
Yeah.
That's what Sunketsu was trying to tell Ryuko.
Yeah.
He's like, let me do this. Sure, you'll be more naked, but you'll be stronger. And she's like, oh, stronger? Me Goku.
Well, I mean, there was a whole, I think it was like episode 3 when she finally, like obviously episode 3 twist, she finally activates the suit properly, and it's, there's a whole discussion about, it's not about being embarrassed, it's about embracing the partnership between you, becoming one as an entity.
Embracing the fashion.
The fashion.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, look, these would not be out of place at a Paris fashion show, these outfits.
No.
Especially not in the 90s or 2000s.
Well, like
Or now.
Zendaya wearing her outfit that she wore to the June 2
Oh, the
premiere.
spaceship
Yeah,
one.
the spaceship one where it had like the clear...
Oh,
like,
did
and
it?
yeah, you haven't seen it?
I sent it to the chat.
Oh, I must have missed it. Sorry.
gosh.
Actually, on that note, and complete tangent here, sorry. So you know how Furiosa, like the Mad Max story, is coming out?
Uh-huh.
Did you see any of the pictures for the Sydney red carpet?
No.
Anya Taylor-Johnson, who's playing Furiosa, is in this golden dress which has spikes all over it. I'm sitting there going, how do you sit in that?
Oh, well, you should have seen Zendaya's outfit
Yeah?
then. It's like...
Same sort of thing?
Yeah. Well, what's the Star Wars character? Not R2D. Is it
C-3PO?
C-3PO.
Oh.
But with clear panels everywhere.
Wow.
And it was from I think it was a...
Zendaya, respect.
What was the... Do you know when the suit was from? Was it the 80s?
No idea.
What, the
It was-
C-3PO suit?
This suit.
But it says it's a gynoid.
Whoa.
So that was on the red carpet from like, my gosh, back
That's
in like the
nuts.
80s or something.
Yeah.
They didn't think that she would fit into it, but thankfully she did because
So it was
only...
an existing outfit, and
Yeah,
that she got
yeah.
to wear it.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, man, like...
Yeah, that's gone wild. Was she like...
She had
Covered?
a suit underneath.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
But the
Yeah.
original wear was not.
Man, that's incredible, the design.
Yeah.
Huh. Go figure. We'll put that in the comments in the episode description because, damn, that's
But that
cool.
kind of reminds me
Fashion.
of Kill la Kill too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Final boss.
Yeah.
Zendaya.
You know how you got like the Batman versus like
Superman, where he's walking
like
out
walking
like
out
this.
like that, and just puts Zendaya versus Ryu. Man, that's cool. But yeah, we've kind of
If
gone
we
on a
did
tangent. But
thumbnails.
yeah. So like, Kill la Kill's definitely like deep down that rabbit hole of fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the story's very much like played with that whole idea of it. Like the way this world is set up is that, you know, depending on if you're a no-star student, i.e. you haven't been acknowledged or given one of these super outfits, you literally live in the slums. If you're a one-star, you move up into condos and you see everyone's life gets better. It's an entire hierarchy system based on these uniforms that the students have. So the parents could be the best doctor in the world, but if their student doesn't perform well, they won't be living in a nice area.
And you get to see that when one of the characters goes from 0 to 2 stars.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And the impact it has on both her and her family and how it changes her whole mentality.
Also, like, this might sound like a bit like there's a big overarching story to it, but it's kind of almost like gag of the week for most of it.
It's tournament arc.
Yeah, like
Monster of the week.
They'll have like, you know, big boss battle one episode, and then the next episode is no tardy day. Don't be late for school. We've put traps between the slums all the way to the school. Like, huh?
And guess what? The tennis player is now a higher level person that you've got to fight. You got to fight her in tennis.
Yeah. That's a great match. I love that episode.
That's stuck in my memory.
Same.
Good costume.
I still like the girl from the elite group who's the musician. Like, I hardly remember her episodes, but I remember all of the memes that were done with it, like putting it with like Destination Unknown, like do. Like,
well, the thing is, the Elite Four remind me of Team Chaotix and Sonic.
yeah, that checks.
Because you got Vector, Gamaguri, the big guy that just takes the blows. You got Espio, the dude, the sword dude.
Yep.
You've got Charmy, who I'm going to say is the musician girl.
Yep.
And then you've got Sonic, who's the blue guy who goes really fast.
God.
Are you not seeing that this is
I am seeing it. But also, I think Espio might be the blue dude who
guy
goes,
because he turns invisible.
well, no, because of his constant, yes, but. Either way, there are parallels. There are so many parallels.
It's insane. And then they go to space. And then there's Super Shadow. And then they're fighting an alien god.
Remember, spoiler free.
Look, tell me an anime that doesn't end in fighting an alien god.
Tell me a trigger anime which doesn't end with fighting an alien god.
Exactly.
Like, I'm pretty sure even Magical Academy,
Little Witch
Academia has like weird gods in it at some point.
Probably.
Yeah.
Gurren Lagann. Naruto.
Well,
Neon Genesis.
I was going to say, like, Gynax is Neon Genesis. Gurren Lagann is Gynax / Trigger because it's the team who founded Trigger. Like, it's a well-trodden path for these folks.
Fight God. Establish dominance.
Spin them the wrong way. But I think there's a couple of things I want to talk about here. Firstly, the dub. Now, the dub was done at the time it was airing. It was a weekly dub, and it shows. It's not bad, but it's not great. There are some issues with translation here. We discussed this in the pre-show, but pronunciation of the Japanese names is off. So Senketsu is pronounced as Senketsu, which is like basically they've just taken the U off of it and assumed it's like the same as Des. So Desu, which, you know, if you don't know Japanese, you go Desu, which is not correct. The U silent. So it's Des. But they've clearly taken that approach to Senketsu and went, oh, the U must be silent because it's the end. It's not. It's Tsu. So that's one of my pet peeves.
Kyle's pet peeves. New segment.
This really grinds my gears. But like, so there's a lot of kind of missteps on the translation. So if you are familiar with Japanese, it might be a little bit frustrating. But other than that, translation-wise, everything that is said, and I put the subtitles on while watching the dub to double check this, everything that is said in the same sort of way. It's not massively divergent. They might just rearrange the order things are said, but it is still said in the same scene sort of thing. They don't drop stuff out. There are some cases where things are said where in Japanese, I think there might have been a bit more nuance to it. And, you know, it's not necessarily critical to the plot sort of things. It's like, you know, someone might say, you know, oh, running late again, are we, in the dub? And Japanese, it's more like, when are you going to stop being late? Like, it's the same implication. It's the same sort of discussion, but, you know, it's the nuance which has changed a little bit, and so you match the mouth flaps, as they say. So, like, the dub's good. It is very watchable despite it being 10 years old. I know I say that like, you know, all dubs 10 years ago were bad. No, but it was kind of hit and miss in that period, whereas now dubs are really just generally good. Like, there are exceptions to every rule, but at the moment, like, most of the dubs you watch are pretty exceptional.
The energy they put into it's immense.
Well, I think a lot of the people who are doing voice acting now, and those that have been in the industry a lot longer, are starting to take they're taking the ideas that were used for, like, the way cartoon recording was done in the US, and then also the way, like, room readings are done for films, which is good, because a lot of the time it was, hey, just record this on your own.
Yeah, go say this in your booth. Okay.
What's the context for it? We'll explain it to you once we get to the next scene.
But NDA.
Yeah, you know, like, so I think giving them, like, more context, letting them see what has been done in the Japanese version instead of, you know, saying things in just like, you need to say this line, which was like, this is not how it's generally done, but there was a period of about 5 to 6 years there where dubbing was basically, here is the script. We're not going to show you what you're watching because, you know what you've got to match to. We'll fix it in post for you, and just say this with this energy, say this with that energy, say this with that energy. And there's a few shows where it's very obvious that's the way it's been done, and it shows. Whereas,
and they pay per take, so they don't get them to redo their lines. They're like, all right, I guess we're running with that.
Yeah, so it was like, we'll make it as budget as possible. It's cheaper for us because we have someone on staff as editor to fix it in post and change it around. And, you know, like, no, that's not the way to do it. Do it properly. Have a look at how good the dubbing is for Ghibli films. Like, they follow the traditional room reading style. They, like, sure, they might be recording separate from one another in separate rooms or at different times, but they let people see what they're trying to replicate. They let them know the tonality of it, how it looks in Japanese, how it sounds in Japanese, what they've got to match. It's why, like, all the dubs that ADV did, such as the ones for Neon Genesis and so on like that, are really good because they followed that approach. So yeah, like, they mightn't have a chance to, you know, dub stuff together. They mightn't have even met the other people, but they're shown what they need to kind of do, and they go, no, do it again this way, try it this way, try this, you know. Whereas, yeah, there was that period of real budget dubs, and this isn't one of them, thankfully. Yeah. I've gone well on a tangent here. Sorry.
Yeah, I feel like Kill la Kill is definitely like a classic now. It's one that you would recommend.
Yeah.
To someone who's just coming new into it.
That, you know, doesn't be okay with that sort of stuff. Yeah. You wouldn't just be like, oh, you do the anime? Here, have this.
Yeah, look,
like, hey, like, what are you looking for?
Like, do you watch HBO stuff? Yeah?
This might be You're okay with seeing a little bit of whoop every now and then?
A little bit spicy?
On a percentage of 10 to 90%, how much clothes do you like your character to have?
0. All right. Here's my H list.
It's my hit list. I also have to admit that one of the things that stands out for this show for me is how unique each of the characters are. Everyone's bombastic, and like that's a thing for Trigger art. Trigger's style of artwork is just eye bleed. It is, everything's going to go absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
Well, you're never sitting there going, oh, is that character or that character?
I know, right? Yeah.
Because you get that with a lot of shows.
Yeah, you do.
Because they get into the same style. Like with Fate, how you've got Saberface. there's so many characters with the same damn face.
Yeah.
And just sitting there going, okay, it's that hair, so it's that one.
But this is also an issue with cast of thousands. Like, when you've got so many characters, differentiating them becomes a real challenge.
Well, that's also what's a good thing about Kill la Kill being so short. Because then it's like, okay, you've got your handful of characters. That's all you need.
Yeah. So yeah, it's 25 episodes technically. 24 were aired, and 25th was the OVA, which was the finale. There's a question online asking why it was cancelled. It wasn't cancelled. It was a original anime, so they had plans for that 24 episodes, and then they went, actually, we want to do a big kind of send off for it because it's been so popular. Is at least the information that I can find online. So it wasn't cancelled. It was just we planned to do a 2-core anime. We did it. We covered everything we wanted to. We've finished it off, and we've sent it off, and we're happy with it.
I wish more people would do this.
I know, right? Like, just finish it.
Knowing when to end something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
End it while it's good. Just be like, that's it.
Yeah.
There you go. Anything else you'd like to imagine in this universe, you can write it yourself.
Exactly.
Well, imagine how different that final episode of Wonder Egg Priority could have been if they had just went, we're going to end it here. We're going to bookend it and say they fought Frill and they've won and that's it. It's over. Instead, they dragged it out and went, anything could happen. And it's like, yeah, but we know you're not going to come back to this.
Yeah.
Like, you've proven the studio doesn't value what you've created here, which is why it was rushed.
They should have just ended it and then like done that ending as like an OVA or like a alternate ending.
Yeah. Or just not done what they
bonus.
did.
This is so much fun. Like, hey, look, we're going to re-release this and we're going to give you a bonus ending.
Oh, do you remember when they did that for I Am Legend? And they're like, the controversial new ending. And it's they did.
Oh, I'm with Kirley on this.
Okay, so I Am Legend, you remember like the ending is like boom and everyone dies.
Yeah.
The alternate ending is during that scene with smashing on the glass turns into the shape of the butterfly wings of the girl that they're trying to rehabilitate.
Yeah.
And that turns out was the partner, the mate of the zombie smashing on the glass. So they then let her out back to them. And it's like, wait, the zombies are sentient. They're not brainless. They're just animalistic. So
I think I'm remembering the wrong movie.
I saw that. I saw that ending, not the first ending with them all dying.
Yeah. So depending on which showing you went to, they had the 2 endings.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And they didn't tell anyone, so everyone was arguing about the ending.
Oh, wow. That's good.
So, yeah, and then they managed to escape. So him and the 2 girls he's with get out and get away.
Yeah.
I thought it was just Will Smith and a dog.
Yeah, it was for most of it, but then other people get roped in.
And then there was no
a scientist, and then there was no dog, and So, yeah. There was a lot.
I think I must have stopped halfway.
Probably. You probably saw up to the dog, and then you're like,
I'm going to be honest, like, it's not that memorable of a movie, just like the final scene. It's like, it's Will Smith in a film with zombies. Well, to me, it wasn't.
I don't even remember the zombies.
Yeah. Well, and again, it's the classic.
many.
It's the classic thing where we're not going to call them zombies. You know.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even remember like anything except for Will Smith and a dog and him walking around and going insane. And there was one of the mannequins that was moving.
I think if I remember correctly, the zombies didn't come out during the daytime. They only came out at night.
Yeah.
Nighttime zombies.
Night walkers.
Zombies.
Dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Kill la Kill.
Yeah. Kill la Kill. It's good. Go watch it. Nah.
Yeah, cool. Done. Episode wrapped. Let's go.
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
Tonight on Anime Communique.
Great story, compelling and rich.
Nothing brings ratings up like a little controversy.
And we are starting with controversy in the news because Crunchyroll has increased its subscription prices for Mega and Ultimate fan tiers. It's not a massive bump, but it is a bump nonetheless. So for the Mega fan, it's gone up from $9.99 US to $11.99 US, and Ultimate $14.99 to $15.99 US. Fan tier is remaining at $7.99 a month, and the free trial period is changing from 14 days to 7 days.
I don't think any of this affects us though, because we only get the 1 tier.
Yeah, and we've got different pricing here anyway.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Well, at least in Australia. But we did already have a price increase here anyway, didn't we?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So there were rumours around Crunchyroll increasing the price. And they, literally like 3 days before this news came out, they told Anime News Network, we had no announcements about a price change coming at this time. And then they clarified that some people would experience price changes. And it's like, experience? It's an experience to have everyone's hiking prices. Stop it.
It's an experience to get robbed.
Yeah, and then they clarified that some people experience price changes if they were switching from a Funimation subscription to Crunchyroll. It's like, wasn't that meant to be automatic?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And then they had to, ask them about, any price changes within the next 2 years. And they responded that it would be improbable to predict a price change for that time frame in the next 2 years. And it's like, and then 3 days later, they implemented a price change.
Because there's going to be multiple within 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can't just be like, oh yeah, there'll be one coming. Because then it's like, okay, well, it's one over the 2 years.
Exactly.
No,
Yeah.
It's going to be multiple. They're going to stagger it.
Yeah.
They're going to keep shanking us until they have our entire paycheck.
I mean, look, the advantage at least here is was that the cat at the door?
Yeah, the cat, with that little paw coming around the doorway going, ooh,
Hello,
ooh.
Kumo. Yeah, Kumo for the tangent, sorry, cat talk. Kumo for the longest time didn't know how to open doors. So he'd just sit at them and meow. And then he started watching his brother Liger go and push doors open and wrap around. And he's like,
I can do that?
he headbutted the doors.
Aww.
He went,
My man.
and they were like, and then he's like, huh. So he gave himself brain damage and then learned to open the door. Go figure.
It's okay. We like
big
brain damage here.
Monkeys stronger together. Apes stronger together. Anyway, back to Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll did its first ever major price increase in 2019 and then changed to multi-tier offerings in 2020. It has increased monthly prices in multiple territories in 2022 in October. That included Canada, Mexico, Australia, and New Zealand. And then it also lowered its monthly price in, I'd say, about 100 countries based on this list here. Because they go 90 of these countries, 30 of these countries, in July 2022. Now, that was to make the price accessible to people in, say, South America, where the pricing structure doesn't reflect the costs in North America or in Africa or the Middle East or the subcontinent in India and so on. There's a lot of aspects to this that change. Now, they do have the fan tier, which is the base tier. Is that right?
I think so.
That has no advertisement or simulcast on it as it used to. There were discussions around potentially having advertisements on the fan tier, and apparently that's been kiboshed for now, but everywhere is I'm
sure it'll come back.
Well, Netflix want to put I think they have an ad one, and then Amazon Prime already has adverts in it.
Yeah.
Like why?
You start an episode and it's like, hey, check out this other show. And you're like, no.
Yeah, so look, I'm already watching your stuff. Yeah. You don't need to advertise it to me.
I already give you money.
Yeah. But the good thing is they're skippable.
Yeah, at least they're skippable. Disney's apparently toying with the idea as well. All of the big ones are doing it. I think HBO already has done it.
We've got your money, but we could get
more money. When in the history of corporations has more money been a no? I don't think that's ever been a course any major corporation with a board has taken. I'm sure there might be ones who are have a, what do you call it? A charter, which is a humanitarian charter where it fits, but those are few and far between. The fact that Google removed a "don't be evil" from their core beliefs, and now everything that's happened, it's anyway.
Subscription now.
There is unfortunately no longer ad-supported viewing on Crunchyroll, which it kind of makes sense because the ads were kind of broken as well. It sucks, but the ad system was broken, and half the time the ads wouldn't load, and then your show wouldn't load, and then
Crunchyroll's entire thing is just broken. They could have taken the Anime Lab UI and
they should have taken the Anime Lab UI,
but they were like, no, we're gonna get rid of Anime Lab, and now you got to watch it on our terrible system.
Well, on Funimation's system, which was worse.
Yeah.
And then they went, and then Funimation were like, we're going to release a new UI based on the Anime Lab one. And that was clearly a lie, because then Crunchyroll got bought, and they went, we're just going to use the Crunchyroll system, which is even older. Don't get me wrong, I I love Crunchyroll's content, and I love the team that started it, but Sony ruin everything they buy.
Yeah.
So, like...
If we just buy everything, ours won't be the worst.
Like, High Dive's system isn't the most user-friendly, but at least it works. Like, you know, like... Anyway, Crunchyroll, price increases may be coming to your area. Not great to know, but it is what it is. Let's talk about something a bit more positive. Do you remember the original Speed Racer?
He's a demon on wheels.
Exactly. So the original Shout Studios version of this was released on Blu-ray in 2017. Funimation announced it had licensed the series in 2015, but then they never put it on streaming. This is the 1967 show. It's apparently going to video on demand releases, so you are going to be able to stream the 1967-68 Speed Racer.
Wow.
Platforms have yet to be confirmed, but I don't think it's going to be Crunchyroll by the sounds of it. I think this is going to be going to third-party platforms.
Is it going to have the terrible dub?
Includes the Blu-ray dub and the English subtitles.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's good.
Boy.
Or was he next to the window? Must have been nice and warm. Yeah, there's a whole load of history around this to do with like lawsuits against it, Speed Racer Enterprises and all that. There's a whole load of history on Speed Racer. We should actually do an episode on it, realistically, at some point.
And cover the movie.
Why not? Why not? Like, I mean, look, does anyone have access to a drug dealer? Because that might make the film able to be watched.
I'm sure Penny knows someone.
I have not seen it, but I have seen Initial D. I like Initial
The Euro
D.
beat intensifies. I love. Oh, have you watched Ghost MF yet?
No.
It's the creator of Initial D.
It's
It's
MF Ghost.
MF Ghost, yeah. Mount Fuji Ghost. Yeah.
Not Samuel L. Jackson Ghost.
Yeah, well, because the one we saw was MF Ghost. We're like, MF. Yeah, it's the same guy who did Initial D.
Yeah.
It's in the same universe. It's set later on down the in the timeline. All cars have become like AI self-driving. But there's still street race competitions which are held by the Mount Fuji organization, the MF organization. And this guy, he's been learning to race in England, and he's come over and he's got his Toyota 86. Yeah, and like, yeah, apparently it's like, it's quite Eurobeaty as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Actually, we saw an AE86 model kit the other day.
Yeah?
So if you want to join us for a model kit day, we could probably get that for you.
Man, I've been thinking about getting a Lego one as well.
I've got lots of other model kits.
That you need to build.
Well then.
We should just do a build day here.
I have a model. Yeah, I like model kits.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Except
I finally built
knocked
my...
him over.
Oh, you're kidding. Oh.
What happened?
So my cat jumped up on my desk, and I've got all my model kits up on like the very top shelf. You know, where you probably shouldn't go. And my cat went, I'm going to jump up there. Knocked them all down. They all fell apart.
Oh, new cat?
Yeah. I was looking at him like...
Pancake, my guy.
You're testing me, boy. Put them all back together, no problem the next day. But like...
Yeah, I'm like very tempted with mine because I had similar thing. Only not a cat, a child.
A child,
Like rock the... And it fell.
So just super glue all the joints?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm so tempted.
I'm thinking just like dip it in super glue.
In resin. It's a statue now. Yeah, I finally built that Liger.
The
Shield Liger kit. That was a high-end master kit.
Yeah.
I don't know where that actually sits in the grading, but I think it's one of the top ones. To the point that it's like, it doesn't even give you like, it gives you a heap of stickers, but none of them are the stickers you need. And it doesn't tell you where to put any of them or anything. And then it's like, here are the paints you need to paint the kit afterwards. I'm like, I didn't know I needed those.
And put these parts together and then put them in this part, which has to sit delicately. Otherwise, they're all going to fall out.
Oh, man.
And you're going to have to start over from 2 pages ago.
Yeah.
I'm sad. I have one I haven't finished because I broke one of the bits, so I can't go any further. And I just haven't gotten around to like glue it. You know?
I was going to say, I've got a 3D printer now. Like, we could 3D print the parts if anything that's broken.
Model kit special episode.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Or we could just stream it.
Well, no, we could do a video. Do a video. Yeah. Yeah, that's more video content. Anyway, yeah, Speed Racer. Get model kits for it. It's going to be streaming soon.
There's got to be model kits for Speed Racer.
Oh, 100%.
For sure.
The Mark V?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
100%. Bakemonogatari's artist, Oh Great, has launched a new manga.
They also did Air Gear.
They did. I love Air Gear. Air Gear is so good. It is called Kaijin Fugeki. We do not know what it's about yet. Obviously, Oh Great is known for Air Gear, Junk Story, Tetsukuzu Monogatari, and Tenjo Tenge.
Tenjo Tenge!
Yeah, which all inspired anime. He did also work on the story and art for numerous manga series such as Burn Up, which is like Burn Up rips off every other show at the time it was being made. Like they had an Evangelion in an episode
so
just
it's
called
a Gintama show.
Yeah. But raunchy. 5, Himiko Den, Majin Devil, Naked Star, and Silky Whip, and also did the end card illustrations for Arakawa Under the Bridge and Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches, and like so many. Like, Oh Great is great. Like, mwah. So we don't know what this new show is, but we do know that this new manga is, but we do know that it's coming. It's going to be in Weekly Shonen Jump. Weekly Shonen Map. So Kodansha, not Shueisha, and that it should be pretty interesting.
Should be great.
Should be great. Sticking with Monogatari, there is a new Monogatari series coming. It's Monogatari series Off and Monster. And Yoasobi is performing the opening theme.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, so...
That's the person from the Idol.
Yep, and from Fururen as well, and like Yoasobi just do good music. Like they're a mix between like Vocaloid and electronica, and that works.
Oshinoko, that's the Idol show.
Yeah. So look, they've got a lot of returning stuff for this one. The theme song is called Undead, which kind of, hints into like the theme of the show. Unlock. Loco. Studio Shaft is returning to adapt it as well. They did all the other ones.
Oh, sure.
It's going to be acid drenched, nutty. Yeah.
Of course.
The artwork for it looks pretty beautiful, as it always does. So
yeah.
I do need to get around to watching Monogatari, but I really struggled. And maybe it was because I was young and impatient when I watched it, because it was like 10 years ago when I tried to watch it. And I was just like, you're spending too long talking. And now I actually like those kind of shows.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I remember those days. Like, just, come on, where's the action? Where's the fight?
Yeah.
Come on, let's go. Stop talking. They dissed your mom. Go.
And just like all of the... and
yeah, but they've got to fill in time in the episode.
They do. So that's coming soon. They did an anime teaser countdown on their Twitter and just started with the letter Y, and everyone's like,
why not?
Why not Monogatari? But yeah, it's. Oh, hang on. The novel, it may be considered a final season-y type thing. Let's go into the realm of live action and nuttiness there. The new City Hunter film. So City Hunter is a 80s sort of comedy cop detective show. And it had a live action film of it in the 90s with Jackie Chan as the lead character. And it is wild. Like, it is unhinged good. Like, I kind of want to do a double episode on this now. So I want to watch the original Japanese, the original 90s one, which was with Jackie Chan, and then do this new one. So this new one is a all Japanese adaptation. It is debuted at number 1 on Netflix's weekly global top 10 of non-English films, and it is ranked number 1 on Netflix in all of Japan at the moment. This is, it's going to be funny. It is all like 80s style gag comedy, big hammers and stuff like that. The story is like just unhinged. While the manga has been inspired live action adaptations in Hong Kong, South Korea, France, this is the first film to be shot on the real life streets of Shinjuku. So all the other ones have tried to pretend they're in Shinjuku, but we're in Hong Kong or Paris, like
Seoul.
Yeah, like Seoul, you can get away with it, high tech. Hong Kong, kind of densely populated, maybe. France, So, yeah. So it shifts the setting to the late 20th century to modern day. So instead of being in the 80s. So obviously they've got the same character designs and all that, but they're kind of like a little bit more, modernized because, yeah. It's really good. Words, not my strong point today. The description is Rio Saber, aka City Hunter, is a sweeper who fulfills all his clients' needs. He'll do anything from bodyguarding to contract killing, but he'll only take the job if a pretty woman is involved, or the client's sincerity makes his heart tremble, which normally means the client's a woman. Together with his partner, Kaori, the kid sister of his late best friend, Rio fights the evil haunting the shadows of the city. It ran from 1985 to 1991 as a weekly manga, had 35 volumes, it's had 4 TV anime series, 1 anime film adaptation, and then bucket loads of TV and video specials, including a 2015 OAD. ADV Films, back in the Neon Genesis days, released most of these projects in North America, and obviously then there were kind of a lot of messing around with the rights. But now it's all been licensed by Discotheque Media, and it's back on Crunchyroll to streaming all of the content. So there was kind of like that 10 to 15 year mess, like what happened with Neon Genesis sort of thing, except they didn't redub it and mess it up. So there you go. This is currently on Netflix worldwide. It is in Japanese. It is subtitled. I don't know if there's a dub, but it'll be a good laugh. So there you go. Manga talk. Kaiju number 8 is getting a spin-off manga.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Kaiju number 9?
It's called Kaiju number 8 Relax.
Oh.
Apparently, yeah. They don't have... Yeah. They don't have a synopsis or anything. I'm guessing it's Comfy Camp, but Kaiju number 8.
Yep.
Yeah.
On the Kaiju Island.
Oh, also, there are a heap of dubs landing at the moment. So Viral Hit's got a dub coming. Konosubara as well is coming back. And finally, the Netflix live-action Golden Kamuy film is landing on May 19th. And it looks good. It looks really good. And yeah, it's going to land on Netflix. It is being done at a company outside of Netflix. Netflix are just a distributor, so they don't actually have a say in the production of it, which is good. It's a production company called Credius. And a lot of the people who have been involved in the anime have been involved in kind of like the composition of the show and helping support it. So there's going to be a lot of crossover. Also, Wow Wow, so WOWOW, is the major production of, they're producing a live action series as well. And they are involved in the production of this kind of like in the background, kind of like, what are they doing? We like that. We might steal that. They're a streaming service in Japan, so they're also going to continue the film story, and then, that'll premiere in full. So we'll have the film and then a live action series in the style of the film.
Oh my gosh.
And it
fantastic,
actually
fantastic, because I love this anime so
it's so
much.
Good. But this is the thing, like, this is an anime that suits a live action adaptation.
Yeah.
This is perfect for it. Like, don't be wrong, I love the One Piece live action, but it didn't need it.
It should have just been claymation.
To be honest, a claymation would have been amazing. I would have watched the buggery out of that.
And with the Wallace and Gromit dub.
I don't know why.
Wasn't that Thomas the Tank Engine?
It was. I always, my brain's kind of a bit messed up today. Anyway, that's a bit of a rambling news. Also, if you're in Tokyo in August 2 to 12.
We wish we were you.
Because then you could go to Mashal, the stage play too. So, yeah, that's going to be at the 2.5 Theatre in Kobe as well in Hyogo on August 17 to 19. If you've read Oshinoko, the next arc talks about the 2.5D Theatre. So it's a theatre which rotates, and like they don't have to change the sets. They just move you to a different stage sort of thing. It's wild. Yeah, very cool, very expensive. Creates very unique Very unique productions, that's for sure.
That'd be good for something like Marshall.
Oh, 100%. 100%. That's kind of it for the anime news. I know I've been a bit rambling and rattling things off. It's probably because I've had too much Red Bull and not enough food.
I've had too much food and not enough Red Bull.
We should have traded. Oh, no. Anyway, on that bombshell.
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
I tell you what, it's really weird not being able to hear the music properly. I'm going to have to open the desk up and see what's going on. The good news is it's recorded at the right level, but for us, we can't hear each other or anything, which is why we're all kind of sitting here a bit like, huh? Deer in the headlight. So that is where we're going to leave things for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Next time...
Will be something.
It'll be something. It might be a special, a little extra type of episode.
Yeah, the movie special?
Maybe.
Or a model kit special?
Model kit special won't be an episode, it'll be a video.
Okay.
But we've got a few things on the plate that we're looking at. We want to do a Dagashi Kashi episode, which is going to be a tie-in with a partnership for Tokyo Treat. So if you're thinking of buying a Tokyo Treat box, we will have a affiliate link coming to our links soon, which should get you a discount, and then it helps support the channel, so all the money goes back into the channel for, buying content that, stuff we need for content, repairing things like the desk, or
more Tokyo Treat boxes.
Yeah,
more Tokyo Treat boxes.
Exactly.
We're still working through the details on that. We've had a discussion today about it. If you're one of our patrons, we talked about it on the pre-show. So
feed our candy addiction.
Yeah, feed our candy addiction. As previously mentioned, anime content on the YouTube channel is coming at some point. Again, like proper video content. I've just been flat tack. But you've got this video version, so that's, it works well. If you are listening just in a normal podcast app, just so you're aware, there is a full video version of us on the YouTube now. All episodes going forward will be in that format, makes it nice and easy for us. We can just then, it gives you something more interactive to look at than just, the video tile, which is... Yeah. It's a bit dull.
You get to see us doing weird things.
Yeah. Hit like buttons. Join the Patreon. As always, a big thank you to our supporters on Patreon. If you would like to support us and get access to the pre-show, which is a whole other podcast of us talking trash, and there's outtakes, video extras, video pre-shows potentially as well every now and then. $1 a month it starts from, and it gets you access to a fair chunk of it. And you also get, on the higher tiers, the opportunity to vote on things such as our White Day episode and our Halloween episode. I'm wondering if there's anything else we can kind of swindle in there. This year's Halloween episode is going to be fun. I don't know what it's going to be, but the list has come down to some pretty interesting topics that we have to share, so
yeah,
it's going to be
Although
fun.
We already smashed out Succubus, so I don't know if I'll be coming back for Halloween ever again.
Aww.
I did what I came for!
Now, we are also obviously over on socials. They're not very active at the moment, but that's life. Yeah. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Discord, and Twitter for now. It will be getting retired at the end of the year, I've decided.
Oh, you mean X?
Twitter. The X Twitter. Because, look, like, I'll be perfectly honest, like, no one's really using Twitter anymore. Everyone's moved over to Threads, at least for the anime content, or at least for our audience. If you are one of a diehard Twitter X user, will let us know in the comments over on YouTube, because then we'll be able to spot it fairly easy. But for us, it's just, we don't get a lot of engagement on Twitter. It kind of feels like screaming into the void, and I already do that on 6 other platforms. I don't need to add a 7th.
I like screaming.
So, next time we might be looking at a couple of films. We might be doing a City Hunter episode. We might be just doing something random altogether. It might be candy related. It may not be. We will see. But I think it gives us... it's going to be fun. It's a surprise. It'll be enjoyable.
You'll find out when we find out.
Exactly. It might be the day of the episode. Who knows? No, I'm kidding.
It'll be the day of the episode. We'll all be like, okay, Carl, what's the episode? He'll be like, we're recording.
Look, that has happened once before. Admittedly, I had been sick, so I had an excuse. It wasn't a good excuse, but it was an excuse. So, anyway, look, thanks so much for listening. You've been listening to Kawaii-Fi Radio. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, watch some anime!
Daddy need Red Bull.